Okay, so today we have Morrissey, of course, for Morrissey Friday. I think you need Morrissey for Morrissey Friday, but Lifeguard on Duty. When this was requested, I was thinking, isn't there another Morrissey song with Lifeguard in the title? And of course, it's Lifeguard Sleeping Girl Drowning, which I've listened to before, and I thought, why not get in, another Lifeguard song here? So, apparently this was, recorded during the Viva Hate sessions, but it appeared on Bona Drag. So anyway, all that put aside, let's get into the song, talk about it after. Let's go. Prominent bass, I'm gonna say.
The work you chose has a practical vein, but I read much more into your name. Lifeguard, patrolling the length and the breadth of your pool. I call your name from the vestibule. Lifeguard, lifeguard, save me from life. Save me from life. Save me from life. Save me from the ails and the ills and from other things. The center of the town is a dangerous zone, drenched in phlegm every time that I come home. Lifeguard, save me from life. Save me from life. Save me from life. Save me from the ails and the ills and from other things. Lifeguard, guard me from life. Lifeguard, guard me from life. The last bus home is the dangerous one. A baseball bat across the collarbone. Lifeguard, lifeguard, save me from life. Save me from life. Save me from life. 'Cause it's the only life I'll ever have. I'm always good, I'm never bad. And I've always been so kind to the sick and to the partially blind. Save me from life.
Well, my goodness, what a nice little tune. Lifeguard on Duty from Morrissey. I have to say, off the top, some people have complained before, but I have to say, this song was a close, how do you say it? This song was close to like a Smiths. Like it reminded me of the Smiths. I have to say, it reminded me of Johnny Marr's guitar sound. Honestly, the song that came to mind was "This Charming Man." My goodness, just that jangly sound of the guitar, which I don't know. I was just like, this reminds me of the Smiths, and I know it's Morrissey. Obviously he was the leader of the Smiths, but anyway, I don't know that because of course Morrissey has gone on to be solo for a long time, but this gave me some Smiths vibes, I have to say. And anyway, so yeah, I had to say that off the top. But Morrissey here, obviously the song, I like how it starts out, how Morrissey says, the first two lines, just for the first verse, there's only two lines, the work you chose has a practical vein. So talking to the lifeguard, I think, this song seems kind of simple in a way, it seems kind of straightforward. And how he just talks about, obviously there's a hair going, obviously, how he talks about, save me from my life, and obviously a lifeguard, is he saves your life, if you're drowning, of course, or something. But Morrissey's saying it in a different way, save me from my life of, this all this is, the ails and the ills and the other things, which I like how he says, and from the other things as well. But yeah, anyway, how he's, he's saying, this is a practical job, you save people, And then he goes on, but I read much more into your name. He's reading much more into his job, I guess, not just, don't save me just because I'm drowning and save my life, save me from my life in a different way. So anyway, that aside, so I just like how, already how deep he is, with the first two lines, it's like, good, my goodness. And then, lifeguard patrolling the length and the breadth of your pool. So, I mean, again, just talking about, this lifeguard looking at the pool, making sure everything's fine. I call your name from the vestibule, my goodness, which I had to search up what that meant, what a vestibule is. And I guess it's basically a hallway, as it says. It says an entrance hall, a hallway, entrance, porch. So anyway, that kind of a thing anyway. Or a lobby, the outer door of a building. So there you go. Anyway, so Morrissey's calling this lifeguard from there. And, saying, save me from my life, save me from life. Like I said, and he goes on, from the ails and the ills. And I like that little line there, the ails and the ills. It's just, I don't know. It's just the little things that Morrissey writes. And it's just like his writing is always just top notch. I mean, it doesn't matter where, what time frame really. He always, doesn't really half-ass his lyrics, it seems. Anyway, and then how he goes on later, the center of the town is a dangerous zone. Drenched in phlegm every time that I come home. So, I mean, just the imagery here, talking of phlegm. I don't know the last time I heard, the word phlegm in a song. Drenched in phlegm, I guess, just from people spitting or whatever in the town. It's a dangerous zone. And then, of course, the chorus, once again, save me from my life. And I have to say as well here, though, in the second chorus, when it says, love me, oh, help me, oh, help me, whatever. I was thinking, was that Morrissey singing that part? The very high part around the minute and a half mark? Because I don't know, it kind of sounded like Moz, but at another point it didn't. I was like, that sounds way too high to be Morrissey. And when the person, finished off the singing, I was like, that doesn't sound like Morrissey, but maybe it was. But I don't see in the personnel here, any backing vocalists. But either way, I mean, that part, the high part there, I was kind of, taken aback. I was like, oh, that's a lovely little part. Anyway, and then he goes on again, lifeguards, guard me from my life here. Instead of save me from my life, guard me from my life. So, just again, just talking to this lifeguard, taking him very seriously, just help me, my God. And then the last verse here, the third verse. Again, I like how short these verses are and how the choruses kind of take up the whole song. The last bus home is a dangerous one, a baseball bat across the collarbone. So again, just talking about, I guess, it's a risk taking this bus home. Could get beat up with a bat. Again, this is, written in the 80s, whatever. Times were different. If I got on a bus today, I would hope I wouldn't get beat with a bat on the collarbone, but you never know. And anyway, so that, and how he just goes back into, lifeguards, save me from my life, And the last part here as well, because it's the only life I'll ever have, which, yes, I'm always good, I'm never bad. It's almost like, are you naughty or are you nice, talking to Santa or something. And I've always been so kind to the sick and to the partially blind. Save me from my life. And I don't know if there's, more to read into that. I've always been so kind to the sick and the partially blind, which I know that Morrissey has, written songs about that kind of stuff before. And I don't know, more, maybe he's just saying, he's being very honest, whatever. He's always been kind to these people. Save me from my life, please. So again, it just seems kind of like a simple, kind of straightforward tract in my mind anyway. And I just, again, how he's, asking, pleading this lifeguard, who this lifeguard again is just, he's trained to save somebody from drowning or just help somebody in the water or whatever. And you have Morrissey here, asking him to save him from his life. It's just, my goodness. Again, kind of, it's a very kind of simple song, but it's very, pleasing to the ears, which is always nice. It's always nice to hear a pleasing song. Again, because in my mind, it sounded really close to the Smiths, which I just really enjoy. And I mean, I get that feeling for some songs, but not all the time. Anyway, and also, just looking at some different comments on the internet, on YouTube and everything about the song, I do see some people talking about how this is him reminiscing about his childhood, and somebody says, see the autobiography, but that's all they say. So I don't know if he talked about this in an autobiography. My goodness, if there's a time where he talked to a lifeguard to save his life or something in his actual life or whatever. But yeah, I just see a couple of people saying, I guess it's, about his autobiography, whatever that means. But anyway, and if it's actually a thing that happened, like I said. But anyway, I just love him pleading to the lifeguard, about, save me from my life, but in a totally different way. I just really enjoyed it. And like I usually am, I'm on Passions Just Like Mine, which is a great site. I always talk about it for Morrissey songs. You know, they always have a song genesis and facts and all this stuff, and when the song was written and all that. So it says the song was written in August, or between August and September 1987. And again, like I said, this was, you know, part of the Viva Hate sessions. And again, I didn't mention, but I wanted to say, you know, obviously 1987, you know, Morrissey was very young at this, not very young, but he was younger at this point, obviously. But his voice, he sounds very young. He sounds a lot younger than he does in other songs, for me anyway, you know, that were even released around this time. And even though the song is kind of, you know, depressing, kind of dark, whatever, kind of moody, whatever, he does sound kind of chipper. For some reason, I get that kind of feeling where he does sound kind of more peppy, even though, again, the context is not that chipper. But I wanted to say that as well. His voice, he sounded a lot more clear, a lot more young. I don't know what it is about it, but that's what came to mind. Anyway, it goes on. The definitive version was recorded during the Viva Hate sessions, which stretched from October to December 1987. It goes on with producer Stephen Street. So again, this was during the Stephen Street days. And I know they didn't work for long, but that was a great combo right there, Stephen Street and Morrissey, I have to say. Anyway, musicians on the recording were Vinnie Riley on guitar. And Vinnie Riley here, like I said, it really reminded me of Johnny Marr. And I've talked about Vinnie Riley before, and how people have talked about it in the comments as well, how he should get a lot more credit. He's a great guitarist, and I mean, yeah, he deserves, you know, credit. Anyway, Stephen Street on bass, and like I said during the song as well, such a prominent bass. I was like, holy, you can't miss it, my God. And Andrew Parisi on drums. He's no Spencer Coburn, but obviously he does his job here. And and I'll always just have a special place for Spencer Coburn. But either way, like I always say, the people in Morrissey's, you know, band, whatever that were always behind him, he always had top-notch musicians. He always has. I'm speaking in past tense. But anyway, yeah, he's always had a great band behind him. And the drummers especially, like I've talked about Coburn, I love him. And Parisi has been on so many great tracks that I like from Morrissey as well. So anyway, I guess that's all I gotta really say. I mean, this video's gone on for almost 13 minutes. But anyway, like I said, kind of a, you know, to-the-point song, but very pleasing to the ears, and very kind of, you know, Morrissey's really, you know, contemplating here, you know, not contemplating. I should have ended this earlier. He's really, you know, trying to get this lifeguard to save his life, but in a different way, like I said. And I like how much he's pleading and talking about how he's been a good guy and all this stuff. And I just really enjoyed the song. So anyway, thanks for watching anyway. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, all that stuff. I really appreciate all the support. And also, I don't know if this will be the last Morrissey reaction I do in this room. Because I am moving, I live upstairs and I'm moving downstairs, because why the heck not? And yeah, I don't know if I'll be in this room next week or not, but anyway, since, I mean, I do so many Morrissey things, I have a lot of returning viewers, so if you see something new, that's why. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys again soon.